Hello, welcome to video training. This is Inventory Control, Level 1, Chapter 1, Adding Vendors. From the main menu, select Inventory Control. From the main Inventory Control menu, select Vendor Maintenance. Okay, let's explain what vendor maintenance is all about. When you ordered the software, you ordered various different suppliers and manufacturer files. Such as Yamaha, Honda, Volvo, OMC, aftermarket companies. We work with over 300 different suppliers. You loaded those down. When you loaded those down, each one of those loaded all the individual parts, obviously, into your catalog file and created what we call a vendor record. The system needs a vendor record for each supplier that you're buying or ordering products from. First thing you may want to do, and this is our standard maintenance record. You'll see a next button, an add button, a change button, and we've gone over this in the getting started section. Let's hit lookup. This will list all the different suppliers that you have loaded into your system. When you loaded the manufacturer files down that we sent you, it would automatically create a record here. So you'll see a listing, and this is a good place to check to make sure you have all the ones that you ordered. If you're missing anybody, if you're missing a particular manufacturer or an aftermarket company that you'd like to receive that you don't see here, you need to call the office, call support, and see if you can actually get it or see why you don't have it. So that's step number one. Step number two, there are always going to be suppliers, mostly local companies that you may deal with occasionally where you are ordering parts or you have some parts on inventory that you stock that you order from somebody locally where they don't have a file. So if that's the case, you need to add a vendor. What you're doing is you're creating a drop down. When we get into the next section, which is add inventory, it is going to ask you who the supplier is, and there'll be a drop down, and this is the drop down that you're going to see. So when you're adding parts, you need to have, for every different supplier you need to have a vendor record. This is usually a one-shot deal. You set this up usually when you first get the software, or if you start ordering from a company that you've never ordered before. Okay, let's hit the escape key. From the screen here, we give it a code. The code actually is a 4-character code. You cannot have two manufacturers or suppliers with the same code. If you type in a code and hit the enter key, if that code's out there already, it will basically say, like for example, if we do this here and type in a code that's out there already, it'll say changing and tell me what the code is. If we type in a code that's not out there, it'll say adding, and now it's going to clear the screen, and now we're going to be adding a new one. The code is not very important. It's not something you're going to have to remember. When you're typing in parts, it never will ask you for the code. The computer will figure out who the manufacturer is on its own. There's also a drop down. So what's more important is the name that you put on this code. That's what you're going to be seeing. So the next field is AP number. Right now, we're going to bypass that. That ties into the accounts payable system. If you're using the accounts payable module, we'll be talking about that in the accounts payable module. Let's hit the enter key or hit tab. Put in the new description. Now, obviously, you can hit tab, enter, shift tab will take you back, or you can use the mouse. You can put in as much information as you wish. Many dealers will fill all this information in, put contact telephone numbers, and that way there, if there's any time they need to get a telephone number, need to get a contact name, they can just ask the computer. You put in all the information that you really need, and you're going to hit F4. That record is now added in my system, and now I can add parts to my inventory using that particular vendor. If we hit lookup, it goes to that vendor. This is our standard lookup where we can use keyword. If I clear that out and do vendor search, it'll start and list all my vendors. It always will go to the vendor that you're looking at. So this is how you can add new vendors. If you see a vendor out there that you wish to delete, obviously you can select it and then hit the delete button. Okay, let's proceed to the next step. Now that we've added our vendor list and we're going to be creating our drop down, now we're ready to add inventory.